with, yeah,
Keep going.
sure. So we're gonna, one of the things that we're gonna do today is we're gonna vote, and we wanna send at the end of the meeting the names for voting. So to be able to do that, we're gonna start with this part first, and then we will continue with the rest of the meeting. The meeting will continue leading by and I will review in front with all the voting and that process. Okay. So one of the things that happened yesterday in our voting was people were asking to us this meeting, the annual meeting, a number for the maximum people in the board for the audience. Our law say you should have a range between 6 and 12 members in our board. So that is going to be our first this today. Who's gonna
make a motion? I make a motion that we have 12 members.
Okay. Anybody?
Second. You're second.
Daniel, ¿tienes que traducir o lo traduzco yo para que todos estén enlazados?
Tú traduce, por favor.
Ok. El grupo de Minnesota, una de las preguntas que vino ayer es cuántas personas queremos que constituyan la mesa directiva en un número de 6 a 12. En Minnesota acaban de hacer una moción para que sea de 12 personas la mesa. Entonces, está esperando una segunda. Okay, I translated what you just said.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Any opposed?
Any opposed? Do we have any opposed to this motion?
No, yes,
Discussion.
discussion.
Oh, do you have any discussion? No. So, everybody, we have anybody opposed to this? Good.
You have to go for a vote.
So,
Yeah, I guess we're voting by unanimous consent.
yeah,
If there's anyone opposed,
yeah.
that's what is being asked right now.
Okay. Nosotros nos oponemos. How do we just raise our hand or we just say that we're opposed? What's the procedure you guys are using today?
You can say if you're opposed to that number, you say sure, we are opposed.
Okay. Well, los que están opuestos a la propuesta de 12, por favor levanten su mano.
Okay, so we are opposed.
Do we have another?
You have another.
No, wait,
You have to
you
take
have
the
to
vote on
count.
it. You didn't ask for those that were in favor.
Oh, so how many were in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One. So we need somebody to look at it because I didn't see.
Are you taking a hand count on this or a voice?
Yeah,
vote?
or could be voice or hand.
Oh, we gotta have one or the other. If you're gonna count them, you.
Hasta el último empiezo a hacer trampa.
If you're gonna. we'll have-
So could you help me?
Sure, I'll help you.
The question was raised from Diaz Vesco, who is eligible to vote?
Uh-huh.
That's the question.
Who asked that question?
That's question. Diaz Vesco.
Okay. Okay. Did you count the votes on the screen?
But wait, we have a question.
Just have a question about the motion. Who is qualified? It came into the chat.
Uh-huh.
Who's qualified to vote?
Yesterday we say everybody is in, everybody that is eating.
Anyone that is a member of a church that is involved with the Latin American Lutheran Mission.
Uh-huh.
Do they have to be a certain age?
They have to be 18 to vote.
18.
Okay. So that's the answer. Anyone who's in attendance from a church involved with that Lutheran mission and anyone 18 or can vote.
That makes sense?
Okay, so you're gonna have to do this slow because unanimous consent was not something that was discussed yesterday during the board of directors meeting. So I think we've sent the list from Laredo. Pastor Renee is gonna send the list from Guatemala, and I think you can take everybody else's vote through chat, perhaps, or.
I just put it in the chat, our eligible members that are voting.
Thank you.
I get everything counted here, so as soon as you want to go.
So how many we have in favor here?
Voy a poner minuto para explicarle.
You have to count the rest on the screen that are.
Yeah, well, I'm just waiting until he gets to that point.
Okay.
So I think we're gonna do it by hand. It's way much easier.
We already did it. Yeah, so here, so you need to count what you got there.
So Yael,
Yes, sir.
could you let me know how many we have in favor and opposed there by hand?
We're unanimously opposed to it, and so that's the list that you've received on email. Everybody that checked in.
Okay.
Well, we have to get all the numbers all before we know what a majority is. So you have everybody? You have a list from Pastor Appeal yet? No. Something from Renee? No.
Everybody that signed in is 18 and up.
I understand. Thank you. We're just working through the right now.
You know, and you need to get list from Pastor Renee.
So you have 40 people in Laredo?
49 people.
I have only 40 here.
Okay, I think you might be missing the last sheet, and then faltó una. Oh, la última. Okay, it might be the one that I sent last, sir. People that came in while we were fixing the connection.
Okay, send it to me the last one again. I have just. And Alvarez,
Álvarez.
Yes. We are just deliberating just to see if how many are opposing to this thing. Just give me a second.
pero tienes que mandarme la lista de las personas que hay allá, por favor.
Oh, no, ya las mandamos en el chat. Ahí están las 7 personas más yo. ¿Sí? We are 8 people over here, and I sent the 7 numbers, the 7 names of the qualified eligible members of our mission that are voting.
So we are 49 opposed.
Well, what do we have for total number?
49.
No. You know,
Yes, I'm.
Oh, 8. And he's counting there.
and how many are from?
David,
Renee?
Yes.
David, the audio is so bad. Can you restate the motion, please?
The motion was, how many board members between 6 and 12 should be elected for 21 to 22? That was the motion. Then a proposal from the floor was 12. And that's what we're voting on, that there should be 12 directors for the next 12 months. And that's what we just are now doing vote on how many are in favor of 12 and how many are opposed to 12.
Just one question by order. The question, we don't know exactly if a pair or an impair number of members will be more useful to avoid just yeah, when the board is voting, maybe an impaired number of members would be better than a pair number. We don't know exactly if the president or the moderator have a double vote to choose between, for example, 11 or 12, or a pair number or an impair number. We don't know exactly.
Did you hear?
Yep. So Rafael, do you have a count over there on who opposed or who's in favor? No, come on.
I was asking a question of David just a minute ago.
And what was the question?
I thought that Raphael was asking you a question about what is the advantage of having 12? I couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I mean, if the question was if there's advantage for 12, there's really no, we're just trying to say how representative is the board. And right now Constitution says between 6 and 12, a proposal was moved that we have 12, and that's we're voting, whether we're voting or not.
Okay, are you tallying the votes right now? Is that where we're at?
That's
We're waiting for Rafael. They haven't told us how many
You
people.
mean Daniel, Rene,
Perdón.
not Rafael, Rene.
Oh, Rene, I'm sorry. No, no puedo escucharlo.
My name is Rene Rafael. It's okay, Rene or Rafael? I need to know exactly. We vote we are opposing to 12.
So we have opposed and opposed, so we have
We
50.
didn't get all of them, but that's more than a majority.
That's
Yeah.
more than the majority.
So what is the new, so we need a new,
So that motion, the
the
12,
motion, it's
so we need
done.
another nomination.
Yeah.
We need to have another nomination for,
Motion.
or another motion for.
Okay, we would,
I propose
Pastor-
7 is a very good number.
Pastor Jane is making a motion. One second.
I make a motion that 7 would be an appropriate number.
Okay, do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? Everybody that is in favor, say.
No.
Wait. Kim,
Yes, Pastor Jane, why do you think 7 is a good number?
I think 7 is a good number because when we come to vote, it will be a definite answer, yes or no. 7 is a very biblical number also. And the more you have in a group, not necessarily is the best interest of all.
Thank you.
I think 7 is a good.
How many did we have last year?
11.
11?
Are you sure?
We got 12.
11. one left.
That was-
Correct.
Oh,
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So, we left. So,
So the question here was, how many do we have? Because one board member resigned, we are currently at 11.
yes.
So that answered the question.
So, again, do we have any opposite to this motion? This is what we are right now. Anybody is opposed? One? Everybody is in favor?
Yeah, call for a vote, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so this.
Well, okay, what was the count?
Well, the motion was 7.
Yeah.
We asked for second, they second. Discussion, we got the discussion. And I asked for voting.
Ask for unanimous ballot. And that was voted against, so then you have to vote on either yes or no.
Oh. So, okay. No, I'm getting a little confused. I don't know what, could you help me with this?
Sure. You're voting, if you want 7 people
Yeah,
on the board of directors, you can either do it, raise your hand or voice vote, and if you're against it, it's no, and you can ask for the votes on the yes, and you can ask for the votes on the no.
but
So-
we're gonna do it the same way that who is opposed and who's in favor.
Yep,
So
exactly.
we have
The exact
one
same
opposed,
way. Yep.
and if everybody doesn't say anything, I assume is in
But you
favor.
still have to call a vote for it.
We're using the unanimous consent, the process that you outlined at the beginning of the meeting, right?
Well, that's what we're trying to figure out, if we can use that or not.
Yeah,
And it was not used, so we need to go to a vote.
Okay. So the determination here by the president, vice president, we're going to do a hand vote for and a hand vote against the motion of 7. Okay,
okay,
all in favor?
so all in favor?
En
Raise-
favor a 7 personas.
How many we have in Laredo?
Yeah,
Huh?
basically, everybody unanimous consent in Laredo.
Okay. Renee,
And Renee and
Susan.
If it was unanimous there, although I'm not sure who's checking.
Yeah.
But okay.
so,
So it would pass.
yeah, so it passed. So the number is gonna be 7.
Okay,
Okay,
so
so based on that, for this election, we're gonna vote for 2 more people.
2.
Yeah,
Ok, basado en los resultados, la mesa directiva será solamente de 7 personas ahora. Entonces vamos a tener votación para 2 nuevas personas.
so to be clear, Yael, and
Yes,
you
sir.
can remain over there, the way that the votes are gonna be counted is, we're gonna have a list of people, correct? But you need to vote just for 3. Any vote that has more than 2 in the vote, it's gonna be eliminated. Okay?
Explícale tú a la gente también, por favor, en español.
La forma en que los votos van a ser válidos va a ser lo siguiente. Hay una lista, va a haber una lista de nombres por las cuales se pueden votar. Cada voto tiene que tener solamente 2 nombres. El voto que tenga más de 2 nombres no se va a contar, se va a eliminar. Porque solamente estamos eligiendo a 2 personas.
Ok, ya estamos un poco confundidos.
Por,
Bueno, ¿qué nombres están en qué lista?
No, ahora viene lo que ustedes van a, las personas que se van a mencionar.
Oh,
Okay.
Sí, todavía no hemos llegado a eso. Me imagino que ustedes van a mandar los nombres, ¿no?
Okay, so just to be clear, from the floor, we have to propose people that we want nominated, and then we'll vote on each one of them.
Yes, that could be one of the choices too. Are you able to show the?
That's what I mean,
Okay.
because this one has no
You're
internet.
gonna have a nomination first before you put them aside.
What do you? Yeah.
The delay right now is the voting procedures on the computer that can't connect to the internet. So I'm trying to move it to the other computer. Just a moment.
I think it's at least in Laredo and we should just. Okay.
You should call for the nominations.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna call for the nomination. So anybody that you guys want to have in that list can put the name right now.
Yo quiero nominar al pastor Jacobo de la iglesia de Saltillo.
She wants to nominate Pastor Jacobo from President of Mar in Saltillo.
Jacobo, ¿cuánto?
Jacobo Rodriguez.
yeah, I second.
Wait.
Okay.
Okay. Do we have another name?
No, he's.
I'd like to nominate Dr. Giacomo Cases to the board.
Okay. Another name?
I would like to nominate, there are 4 board members that are presently board members that I would like to nominate.
Okay.
Are they able to hear me okay? Is it
Yeah.
picking up? One is Dave Turner, who's doing our technical work at this, as well as David's contribution has also been working with the LALM. I would also like to nominate Dr. John Clark, who has been the secretary for our organization, as well as working with the Clarion, gathering all of the information and doing that. Penny Monsell, who is a pastor and serves 2 parishes, one United Church of Christ and the other is the Methodist Church and up by Sandstone, Minnesota. And the 4th one is Yael Menendez, whose term will be up. He has worked with a lot of large gifts and has been working with the building committee and in other ways. And then I have a couple of other names to add. One is Kim Rieger, and it's good to see you, Kim. And Kim, I have some information about Kim. She's vice president of marketing at the local hospital in Huron Regional Medical Center that she lives in Huron, South Dakota. Has 2 sons and has been involved, active in is anyone translating this?
Giles translated over there.
De Minnesota están nominando a varias personas, están nominando al secretario que ha estado en la mesa, me ha nominado a mí también, yo no estoy ahorita en nominaciones, ha nominado también a David Turner, que nos ha ayudado, y está nominando ahorita a la señora Kim Rieger, que es una agente de mercadotecnia para un hospital en Huron también. Okay, we're up to speed now.
Yeah.
Kim Rieger, so I think, oh, Kim has been involved in short-term mission projects, and I think some of you recognize her from her travels and participation. And I think those were the other names I had are names that have already been nominated.
Okay. Do we have another nomination from the people in Zoom?
Votar en nominación.
Yes? No? Okay,
And
No,
I nominate Kevin Zellers.
okay,
He's a pastor in Mandan. Has worked a lot with the short-term missions down there for the last 20 years at LALM. And with the opportunity with those things.
okay.
I also would like to nominate Renee Alvarez to. Did somebody already say his name?
No.
Él ya está nominado, Daniel. Él es el único que está. He's the only one that's already nominated.
No.
He has voted on it.
He elected this meeting.
Oh,
He filled an expiring term.
no, él tiene que ser nominado en este meeting. Ya él.
Ok. Bueno, nominamos entonces, estamos de acuerdo con la nominación de la persona.
Okay.
Tenemos que votar a 3 personas.
So, we have 3 spots.
We only have 2. The present board members.
Oh, but wait, so Renee, it's not gonna be for voting.
The present board members are Linda Halbert.
Yeah, no, I have the list here. I'm clear on that. The point is, the only thing that we're discussing here is Renee Alvarez. So,
He has to be elected at the annual meeting. And
Okay.
he was just appointed opening on the board
okay,
back in February.
And this time we have 5 members, so we can only elect 2. We have 5 members at the present time. It's Mariana, Jane, Kurt, Marina, oh, excuse me, Marina, Marina, Jane, Kirk, Daniel, and Linda at the present time. We have 5. And so we can vote for 2 more.
okay.
So the nominations, David Cerner, John Clark, and Penny, their terms are expiring.
Yes,
Is that right?
Yes. 4
And
board-
Yael as well.
Penny, John, David, and Yale are
so
going
we
off
have
the
2
board.
spots. Okay.
But they are eligible for another term.
So how do
I have no idea.
okay. Yeah, no, I'm trying to.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of 2.
Is anybody clear with the names already or no?
Yeah, we're clear that there's only 5 members of the board right now, and we are electing 2 more.
Yeah, no, I'm not, sorry for the question. My question is, do we know the names that are nominated to be elected?
Oh, can you guys put it on the chat?
That's what I'm trying to do
Yeah.
now. we'll have to do other business while we assemble the ballot of possible names. You know, so just
Solo van a hacer el listado de los nominados.
Let's do other business.
Okay, just a technical challenge. I don't think I could bring PowerPoint bandwidth that we have on this computer to use the material that we preserved. Okay, so we're gonna have to just go verbally through the agenda.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
What I'm trying to concentrate right now is for the voting.
Yep.
After that, Kirk can keep going with that. So I want to make sure that the people know, yes.
We'll
I
fix
think
the.
David's still giving this setup, I think is what he's saying. So unless David, you guys have things forward with the meeting.
No, what I do want is I want the people on screen
That's
see.
what David.
That's what we have
Okay.
to put names on the
Yeah,
screen.
we might as well.
No, but-
So,
Can we take a 5-10 minute break while you guys figure that out, please?
This one-
yeah, we'll take a
No, go ahead.
we'll do a 5-minute break. Daniel and I are gonna go off and work through the structure of the voting for board members. Kurt, we'll take the meeting here and resume it after 5 minutes.
Do you have something for reading of the minutes or?
No, this one. This one.
You have the minutes here.
Yes. This is where we are. So we are here. Correct. So.
Okay. All right, we're gonna go forward with it. Yell, can you hear me there?
Oh.
Clerk, we're taking a 5-minute break.
Oh, we're taking a 5-minute break?
Yeah, so Daniel's there.
All right, we're taking a
You
5-minute break.
can move over by coffee. She wants to sit by you.
So, he's gonna move that stuff up. So you're probably just going to have to go through this, you guys can, I would say, pass them on here to these people. And I would say, let's do that right now. You sure? And then I'll call you and you want to. So he's not gonna be able to get this up. So we'll see. Membership. Constitution. Anybody shows up. People off the street. I guarantee you. He was a guy I nominated him several years ago. Okay, I'm going to call the meeting back to order. Yale, do you have everyone there? Okay, somebody's got to unmute. Ron, can you unmute? Yeah. I don't know, we got a number of people here. I don't know if we muted them or if they muted themselves.
They can unmute themselves.
Okay. What's it, Yale?
Yeah, he's on the phone there right now.
With Yale?
Yes,
Oh, well,
trying to get the ballot cleared.
yeah, well.
Okay.
Okay. All right, well, I'm just gonna go forward. Okay, we are going to go forward. The next thing is the minutes from the previous meeting, and Dr. John was not here today, and he has those meetings, and they will be emailed out to all those that are present today. So we are going to go forward to the reports, and on that, I'm going to ask Bob Miller to come up here and give us the treasurer's report. Bob.
Okay, I'm Bob Miller. Can you all hear me? Can you see me? If you're having any trouble, speak up. Otherwise, I will proceed ahead. Clarifying a point is that I am not a board member. I served on the board 3 consecutive terms back a few years ago, and then they wouldn't let me off as being treasurer, and the Constitution does allow the treasurer to be not a board member. So I serve from year to year at the pleasure of the board. So I'm a volunteer, not a board member, but I'm serving as your treasurer. You apparently don't have my handout sheets online, but in case you do, I will proceed through that. I've opened my report with the famous Bible verse from Malachi 3:10, bring the whole tithe into the storehouse. This is an encouragement to giving, and obviously we're encouraged giving to the mission. So that there may be food in my house. Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that you will not have room enough for it. So we're thinking that that is a word from God as to encourage us to give and give sacrificially to our mission, to the mission of LALM. If you turn to page 2, I've started with we have 4 restricted funds. And those are, I'm sure many of you will know that we have specific projects there. They are funded by designated gifts. One is for support to Guatemala. Another is for our food bank. That's the largest single project that we have going. The other 2 are new programs. One is the parish hall across from the bookstore in Laredo. And the other is El Cenito. That is, we have the land out there and we are just beginning to make plans for building on that site.
I want to do a sound check here, like Brian or Judy or our Pastor Renee. Are you guys hearing it? Pastor Jacoba, can you hear? Okay. Jim, is it okay? Okay. Thank you.
In the general fund, that's the fund that basically funds everything else that goes on at the mission. That's the staff and the utilities and the upkeep of the yard and the buildings and all of those kinds of things. So that is between the general fund and the restricted funds, they both constitute about half of the total of the mission expenses and income. We also are trying to keep a cushion savings. We call it our general unrestricted savings. And we had let that deplete here a year or two ago down to what we felt was dangerously low levels. But now we've been able to bring that back up. Our goal is to keep $50,000, hopefully untouched. And we now are up to about 42,000 with that, where we've been able to put $1,000 a month into that. We have also opened now a long-term endowment, the beginnings of an endowment fund. It's with an organization called Legacy Deo, similar to Thrivent. It is connected to the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And that account is now open earlier this year for $11,200. It's called a custodial account temporarily until we build the funds up, and then it becomes an endowment fund. Going down some of the smaller items within our mission activities, the bookstore sales are down a little bit this year. In fact, the last couple of years, partly because of COVID and the restriction of at the border for Mexican folks to come over. That has been a large part of the bookstore sales, but now we've lost that temporarily, hopefully, until the borders open again. Rental income, we have 7 units at the mission, and that is becoming a major part of our income. Up to this point this year, we've had $48.9 thousand of income. No, I'm sorry. Rental income is up to 30,000, a little over $30,000 of rental income so far this year. The support to Mexico and the border areas, that's largely in sponsoring meetings and theological training materials. We've spent $6,000 so far this year. Thrivent has been in the past a large contributor to the mission, but it's down to only a little over $1,000 now. Our gifting support, we are now down to 61 individuals. About 10 years ago, when I first became a treasurer, 10 or 12 years ago, that was about 400 individuals. But our number of churches has increased. So churches and organizations that have contributed so far this year are 22. So we're glad and thankful for all of those, both individuals and churches that have caught the mission, the vision of the mission, and have gladly and faithfully supported month by month, many of them, to the mission. Our newsletter called the Clarion, we send out 2 issues per year. And we are presently sending out almost 2,700 copies. However, there's about 100 deletions. I get a lot of deletions from those that have passed away, address changes where they've not given us a forwarding address. And those cost us about $3,000 per issue. We have, at this point, 57 subscribers that receive the Clarion by email. If you go to page 3, I won't go down all of the detailed figures, but those are where, if you go back to the top of page 2, that's where all of those figures come from. Basically, it tells you the cash flow over the period from January 1st to the end of August. I had to cut it off at August because that was the last bank statement that we've gotten. So if you go to the last page, page 4 is the proposed budget for next year. That's the important item for this meeting. We need to take a vote and approval on that. What I've done is the first column under estimated full year 2021 actuals. Since I've had actuals only up to the end of August, I've extrapolated, if you will, or expanded those figures proportionately to what they would likely be at the end of this year, 2021. That's the first column. The last column is the proposed, by faith, we've taken a look at increasing budget levels by essentially a little over 10%. So we're prayerfully considering, what can we be doing? How can we be expanding? And that's what the budget figures in the last column represent. As you can see, we're running somewhere around the $300,000 to $350,000 level a year for operating the mission. Now, do I have any questions? Does anyone have any thoughts or questions? Yep.
Just, I can display that on the camera. Just a moment here.
Oh, okay. You can, yeah, good.
I don't know if that's
If you can hold it still.
a second here. I gotta get it to be.
Our budget basically shows 338,500 in income and expenses of 365,000. But we have a lot of restricted funds and things that come in. So we assume that that budget is going to balance out.
Right.
Can you see that, Brian? You're muted.
Yep, I can see it, but like not clear enough to read the numbers.
Now, can you do a screen share, David?
No, we're just trying to get the ballot up, and so he doesn't want to try to do that.
That's the income side. I zoomed in. Is that more legible?
It's more legible, but my eyes aren't good enough to read it.
Anyone else have better eyes that can read it?
One says no.
Should I go down line by line?
No, I think we should ask if there's any questions, specific questions.
Go ahead.
Any specific questions?
We should probably be sending this out early before the meeting.
Well, the idea is to mention the names today at the end of the meeting, so.
This is the
No, the budget.
No.
We're talking budget at the moment.
Yeah, and some of these budget numbers weren't really put together until the board meeting yesterday, so that creates some of a problem. It could be done probably earlier. And to get, you know, it's the technology. We have all these things on a shared screen, but we don't have enough, I don't know what.
Bandwidth.
Yeah, we don't have enough bandwidth to put it out there, so that's the problem we're running into.
But we'll email it out.
The budget will be emailed out to everyone, so everyone will get the budget.
Can we vote on it? Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Hearing none. I'll close my treasurer's report. Okay.
Thank you, Bob. All right, I'm going to ask for a vote on the budget. So you out there, if you want to, you can unmute yourselves. All those in favor of the budget signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those
Aye.
opposed, say no.
Todos a favor de aprobar el presupuesto, digamos sí.
Okay. So yeah, was that a vote no on the budget?
That's a yes.
Was that a yes vote on the budget or a no vote on the budget?
That's a yeah vote on the budget.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the budget is passed. Okay. I think we will go at this time to, are you ready to move forward with the voting?
No.
No, not ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, well then let's go to the director's report. Mariana?
Ya, voy, papá. Bueno, mis chulos. Sí, en medio.
Ahí yo se lo traduzco aquí, ¿verdad? I'll do the translation here. You guys tell me, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hear you fine. Thanks, Yale.
Muy buenas tardes tengan ustedes, Dios les bendiga.
Good afternoon. God bless you all.
Le vamos a pasar una copia de cada esto a ustedes para que ustedes lo lleven para casa.
Those of us present here will take a copy of the report. I think there's a digital copy that everybody else should have done.
Mi reporte tiene que ver con Betel, que ha estado durante toda la pandemia abierto y constante en todas las actividades.
Her report is starts with Betel being open and full of activities throughout the pandemic.
Hemos dado gracias a Dios porque nuestra hermana Jane, nuestra hermana Marina, y nuestra hermana Elizabeth y los líderes de acá siempre han estado prestos para colaborar.
And we are so thankful that Pastor Jane, Pastor Marina, and every other leader has stepped up and has always been very gracious about their time in support of the mission.
En estos 18 meses que tenemos, bueno, ya casi 20 meses de la pandemia, nuestra relación con nuestros socios en misión es excelente.
After 20 months now of pandemic response, we can reaffirm that our relationship with our mission partners is as strong as ever.
Felicito al pastor Jacobo Rodríguez, que hace un excelente trabajo de liderazgo en México con sus 25 iglesias.
And she wants to congratulate Pastor Jacobo Rodriguez for his key leadership in leading 25 congregations in Mexico.
Es para mí realmente muy satisfactorio ver cómo él ahora tienen en el centro luterano, tienen la librería, tienen el estudio de grabación.
She is so proud of the work that they put in to get the Lutheran Center in Saltillo so well conditioned with a recording studio and for radio and blogging, and also a bookstore that is growing.
Han hecho todas las actividades de jóvenes, niños y mujeres.
And they've continued with all the activities for the youth and also for women.
Gracias, Pastor Rodríguez, por ser parte de la construcción del reino.
Thank you, Pastor Jacobo Rodriguez, for being part of the building of the kingdom.
Y la forma en que nosotros les vamos a dar muchas gracias porque la honra es para Dios y la gloria es para Él es a través de un aplauso para usted y que lo lleve a todas sus congregaciones.
And we're gonna send an applause over his way to Saltillo.
Thank you very much.
Damos gracias a Dios por el liderazgo de nuestro hermano René Álvarez en Guatemala.
She's also very proud of the leadership role that Pastor René Alvarez has displayed at the Lutheran Church and Mission in Guatemala.
El día viernes recibimos ya oficialmente que estamos en el gobierno, ya estamos dados de alta y ya somos una organización.
And we are even more joyous with the fact that this past Saturday, the Guatemalan Department of the Interior approved the formation of the Lutheran Church in Mission in Guatemala.
Si ustedes quieren saber un poquito más del Pastor René, él es un ingeniero en general, químico general.
Pastor René is not only a chemical engineer by trade.
Él tiene su trabajo secular y en su otro tiempo él lo dedica como pastor de la iglesia en Guatemala.
In line with our bivocational leadership, he gives his time to the ministry of Guatemala.
Él desde el año 88 enseña a las comunidades indígenas en Guatemala.
Since 1988, he's been teaching indigenous communities and developing pastoral leaders from indigenous communities.
Este año ha capacitado a 20 líderes.
This year, he has trained 20 leaders.
Y también este año, si el Señor nos permite, vamos a certificar a los primeros 9 pastores que ya van a hacer el trabajo en Guatemala.
And we are expecting that before the end of the year, 9 pastors will be certified to begin their ministry in Guatemala.
El pastor corre de un lado para otro con problemas con su carro, pero él siempre está ahí. Así que, Pastor René, muchas gracias. Que Dios le bendiga grandemente. Gracias por su liderazgo y la misma forma nosotros que agradecemos a Dios por haberlo puesto en nuestro camino y que lleve esa comunidad adelante. Así que vamos a darle un aplauso al Pastor René.
And that was an applause for Pastor René and thank you for his work in Guatemala.
Empezamos un movimiento en la sierra y en los ejidos y tenemos la sierra Santo Domingo que está en el área de Coahuila y en esa misma área tenemos 6 ministerios en los ejidos que hemos estado trabajando duramente con ellos.
It's been very exciting to see the Lutheran movement of La Sierra is what it's called. And it's 2 sierras in the state of Coahuila where 6 missions have been developed and through the efforts of LALM.
El pastor René ha sido el maestro encargado, así que también para el mes de noviembre vamos a tener 6 líderes ya certificados y todas son mujeres. No, 5 mujeres y un hombre.
And in those communities, Pastor René is providing training online from Guatemala City to get the pastoral leaders certified before the end of the year for the community. So we will have 5 new female pastors and 1 male pastor joining the team in the Lutheran Mission in Coahuila.
Muchos de ustedes no lo saben, pero nuestra pastora Jamie es la que ha estado apoyando el trabajo para los ejidos. Así que muchas gracias, pastora, y esperamos continuar con eso.
And we want to thank Pastor Jane Detling because she has been our supporter and also our financial supporter for the missions out in the Sierra in Coahuila.
Durante este año y el año pasado que se empezó las clases con el instituto, hemos dado un total de 54 cursos cada lunes que hemos tenido clases.
For 54 weeks, we have had theological courses taught online Mondays and Friday evenings.
Queremos dar un agradecimiento al doctor Giacomo, quien ha sido nuestro coordinador teológico voluntario durante todo este tiempo, y a los maestros de Guatemala, de México, especialmente gracias, Pastor Jacobo, gracias, Pastor René, doctor Miletti, muchas gracias.
And the theological training is only possible because of the volunteer efforts of Dr. Giacomo Cases as our academic director, and by the volunteer efforts of professors such as Pastor Rene, Pastor Jacobo, we have Pastor Miletti in Texas, and many visiting pastors from throughout Latin America. We want to congratulate them for the work that they have done over this past year.
El programa Manos de Amor, que es nuestro programa de alimentos, ha estado desde marzo del año pasado hasta septiembre de este año por 73 semanas, distribuyendo comida a 5,000 familias dentro de lo que es todo Laredo, el sur de Laredo, la parte sur de la frontera, que sería McAllen, Donna, Álamo, Mission.
¿Cuántas semanas?
73.
For 73 weeks, we have engaged in a pandemic response, which includes strongly the food program, which provides food to families. Over 5,000 families a month receive support from our efforts in the border region from Del Rio down to the valley.
Durante ese tiempo hemos dado $500,000 de comida.
Since the beginning of this year, we have surpassed 500,000 pounds of food that we have delivered and distributed.
14 containers y medio.
14.5 containers have come to Latin American Lutheran Mission to fulfill this.
Tenemos una familia de aquí de Betel que ha ayudado a una comunidad en Guatemala, que es nuestra hermana Blanca Rodríguez. Muchas gracias, Blanquita, por ayudar a esta comunidad. Yo sé que a usted no le gusta, pero la honra y gloria es para Dios.
And she also wants to mention that Sister Blanquita, and thank her for the support, because we also do the food program in Guatemala.
Durante este año, la librería, gracias al Señor, ha tenido los problemas clásicos que muchas iglesias pequeñas han cerrado. Entonces, nuestras ventas también han bajado y los clientes también son menos.
And to make a special note on the bookstore, the bookstore has, by and large, survived a very difficult time where many churches that are our clientele have shut down for a significant period of time. Others have closed, and others have compressed the numbers that they used to have.
Este año dimos a útiles escolares a 2,300 niños y damos gracias a las iglesias de LCMC, a las personas de aquí de Laredo y a Orphan Grey que nos ha ayudado con este proyecto.
In terms of school supplies, we have provided supplies for over 2,300 children, and we want to give special thanks to congregations of LCMC, Lutheran Congregations in Mission for Christ, and for their Texas district, and for Orphan Grain Train, and the branches in North Dakota and Wisconsin for sending us supplies to make this happen.
Las bendiciones que hemos tenido son muchas.
The blessings we have received have been many.
Y los aspectos positivos en el trabajo en este año han sido muchos.
And the positive aspects of working here have been too many.
Hemos tenido problemas como cualquiera, pero los hemos superado.
And we have had some challenges and difficulties as we expected, but we have gone above them.
Esperábamos abrir 2 misiones para el nuevo año, pero el Señor nos mandó antes, así que en Saltillo ya se abrió la misión en el área urbana y en Guatemala en el área de Tica.
We had a plan and a strategy to open 2 missions beginning next year, but the Lord had different ideas, and the missions have started now. We have a new mission in Saltillo. Oh, and another mission in El Jícaro, in a new community in Guatemala.
Así que el Espíritu del Señor se mueve más rápido que nosotros.
The Holy Spirit of our Lord moves much faster than we do.
Así que esto es lo que tengo para ustedes. Si tienen preguntas, aquí estoy.
And that would be her report for you. If there's any questions, she'd be happy to respond.
Those of you on there,
Say it again.
raise your hands. Any questions for anyone from Mariana? If you have a question, yes, Jim Benabozi.
Just curious as to whether or not you've had any activity in this mess in Del Rio.
Sí, hemos tenido actividad con lo del río. Yes, we've had the opportunity to send food prior to them arriving to Del Rio, where there's a crossroads in Tamaulipas where they choose to come to Laredo or head up north. And so by the efforts of in Coahuila, so by the efforts of many of the pastors in Mexico who came to get food here, they were able to take to cook rice for them and beans and also lentils before they got to Del Rio. So we hope that we're able to grow those efforts, but of course the border is closed right now.
Thank you, Mariana. Yeah. Any other questions for anyone has of Mariana or the mission? All right, Mariana, thank you for all the work you do there and for the volunteers and people that work there. We praise the Lord for all that work that is done.
Muchas gracias por todo el trabajo.
Okay. Pastor Renee, did you have something? Pastor Albert?
No.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, we're going to move on. At this point in time, we're going to move to the election of the Board of Directors. We're going to vote for 2 people on here, and I will have to give you the names of the people because, yeah, Dave is putting it up there, but you may not be able to read it. Oh, I'm still having problems here. I can probably.
Don't worry.
Okay. So you will vote for 2. And I will read the list of names. There are 9 people that have been nominated, and you will vote for 2. The 9 people that were nominated were, in no order, Pastor Renee Alvarez, Pastor Penny Bonsell, Dr. Giacomo Cassetti. Thank you. Dr. John Clark, Yael Mendez, Kim Rieger, Dave Turner, Jacobo Rodriguez, and Kevin Zellers. So if you would vote for 2, and Ron, do you have some blank paper around here, and just form us some ballots for the people here to vote? For the rest of you that are on, you can either vote via email. Daniel, what is the email address?
press.lalm@gmail.com.
Sí, ya puede.
Okay, so the email address you can email it to is press.lalm@gmail.com. Or the other option is you can text your vote in to 651-295-7771.
If they text, put their name.
Oh, okay. And if you text, please include your name on it, so he knows who it's coming from. Okay, do we have any questions on that voting process or any of the nominees?
Okay, just a second. Just a moment.
Let's see. We got 7 chats. Have you looked at those?
And you have to chat.
Okay.
Can you repeat the phone number?
Okay.
I will type it in here.
651.
Just 651
295
295
7771.
71. Okay, then I'll put the email address in also. PRES
LALM.com.
at
Gmail. All right.
mail.com. So we just put the phone number and the email address in the chat.
Okay, there were about 7 there. Did you look at all? of them?
David, do those emails, David, do those go to you or do they go to Ron Berry?
Those,
They go to Daniel.
they're going to Daniel. Vote for 2, only 2.
Yeah, remember, whoever is going to be eliminated.
I'm just texting it in.
Voted yet, Dave?
I'm getting there.
Okay. Do we have any votes yet on, or any questions yet on the voting process? You can take that. Okay, we are going to continue on. And while they tally the votes and get that all together. So Daniel and Ron, you're working on that. Okay. Any questions on the election before I move on?
Yes, could you send the email address one more time, please?
It's in the chat.
Can you go to the chat? I can give it to you, maybe.
Just a second, I'll try and put it in again, John.
Yeah, it says, can it be confirmed in the chat? Okay, and she asked to see the first.
David, can we move the pace along? Because there's several pastors that have services today.
Here's the first thing they asked for the email.
I just cannot get the computer to do anything. It's locked.
Okay, it appears that it is locked up. And so I will have to give you that email address again. It is what? PRES dot LALM at gmail.com. And unfortunately, we can't put the list up there, but I will read it again. Number 1 is Pastor Renee Alvarez. Number 2 is Penny Bonsell. Number 3 is Dr. Guacamo Casasi. Number 4 is Dr. John Carlson. John Clark, been a long day already. Number 5 is Yael Mendez. Number 6 is Kim Rieger. Number 7 is Dave Turner. Number 8 is Jacobo Rodriguez. And number 9 is Kevin Zellers. Vote for 2 only. Okay. Anything else on the election at this time? The balloting, the voting. You got everything that came in the chat, Dave, answered?
I don't know.
Oh, it's locked up. Yeah, our computer's locked up, so
For the chat.
if there's something that you sent on the chat that's not coming through.
I just sent the email. Did it come through?
Well,
They're checking
we
that.
assume, yeah, if you sent it, it should be coming through, and we'll check on it to see it came through. Okay. I'm going to move on. Old business. Is there any unfinished or old business at this time? Come before.
Bueno, ustedes están entendiendo qué está pasando, ¿ah? Sí. Ok, ¿qué está pasando?
Yael, do you have something from there?
No, sir. We're waiting for you to tally the votes.
Okay, well, they're doing that right now. New business. Is there any new business that needs to come before us? I guess one thing that I would maybe inject in here as they tally the votes is on the building committee and what is happening with the lots across from the bookstore. We continue to go forward with that process. Right now, we're looking at getting the lot cleared, breaking up some concrete, getting debris out of there, doing those kinds of things. The board has decided that they are not going to go into debt on that building. So we are going forward with the process of it, the progress of it, as funds come in. And at this point in time, we have approximately $13,000 in with approximately $3,000 in bills. Is that correct? Correct. So we probably have about $10,000 which we can spend there, which we intend to be using to get that lot prepared to do those things, but we really can't go forward until we have more money. So that is where that project is at. I guess I would say, does anyone have any questions on that or of me at this time?
It'll be a parking lot, right?
Well, the stuff that's cleaned out, once the things are cleaned out, it'll be utilized as a parking lot at that time until we start building on it.
Kurt, have you talked to any contractors locally in Laredo about their estimates?
We have worked on that. I don't know that we have those back yet. I believe 3 of them may have looked at that site to give us an estimate for what it would cost to get the concrete out and to get it leveled and, you know, get it prepped at that point. But we haven't gotten those estimates back yet.
Okay.
Are there any other questions?
Kurt, when Tom was down there 2 weeks ago, did he uncover anything surprising or just a routine visit?
Just a routine visit, but the only thing he said was there's 3 concrete slabs there from the 3 houses that were there, and he felt that those had to be removed and taken out of there to go forward. And so that's what he's getting estimates on, is tearing out the concrete, you know, getting it leveled and getting the debris out of there. Okay. I'm going to go then to any other business before the annual meeting. Anything else?
Update on the endowment fund?
Yeah, okay, Dave, if you'd like to update us on the endowment fund.
At this point in time, the endowment fund has been established with an organization called Legacy Deo as a savings account. The board yesterday approved as part of the 2022 budget, a target to raise an additional $16,000 for the endowment fund. So that will be the goal as we contact members this year for getting either gifts to the endowment or estate gifts or however individuals might consider in their giving plans. The endowment procedural activities now will shift. I'll work with the board to write the procedural documents for how to manage the endowment. It's in the articles. I would display it on the screen, but basically what the articles state is that the principal in the endowment will not be spent. At some point in time, the earnings on that will then be used for non-normal budget line items. So this would be for specific projects. The procedure for distribution is what we now need to work out as we build up this in the endowment. And that will be the work we have in the next 6 to 12 months as we raise an amount. I met with Legacy Deo. They recommended that you establish a minimum of 50,000 or 100,000. So this will be a long-term growth to get it to 50,000. And once we get to 20,000, we can start earning more than savings account interest on it. It'll grow in a conservative fashion. Any questions about the endowment activities of LALM?
David, how can we contribute, or how do people contribute specifically to that fund?
Sure. So if you look in the Clarion, the summer Clarion that came out, on page 4 at the top of it, the best place would be is to contact me, or if you send a check, or if you want to do electronic transfer, contact Bob or myself, and we'll send you the paperwork forms for gifting. If you send in a check, just write on the check, we've received it for the endowment fund, and then it will be deposited directly into the endowment. If you need electronic transfer information, just send me an email, which is dwt926@outlook.com, or you can send that to Bob Miller as well, and his is bobmiller@msn.com. Either one of us can give you the electronic transfer information. Any other questions? Thank you, Jim, for considering it. All right, that's all right.
Okay. Thank you also for all your work on that and everything that you have done. Dave, we appreciate that. It's greatly appreciated.
It would be appropriate if we have time to thank John Martin for his service.
Yes.
Who has completed 3 terms.
Yes.
And also Phil Spalding.
Do you want to do that?
You go ahead.
Okay. We did want to thank John Martin for his many, many years of service on the board and for being an officer on the board and all the work that you've put in. So thank you, John, for that from us. And also, Phil, if you are still on here, why, thank you for your many years of service to the board. And again, we appreciate that. And we appreciate all the time of all the volunteers and the knowledge that they have shared and keeping the organization going. I really think you could have done it better. How are we coming on tallying the votes?
It's been a work of love for me over these years. Actually, it's been almost like 20 years since my church and the Southwest Lutheran Synod started Agua Viva Lutheran Mission. And that's what I started with. And then I got to know Moses, who was the pastor there. And before I knew it, I was on the board of LAM for 9 years ago. So it's been a real blessing for me to serve. And I particularly appreciate everyone I've gotten to know.
Yes, it is truly a blessing to serve. Thank you, John. Okay, anything else? The music for us has stopped, so we don't have that entertainment anymore. So,
Here comes Santa Claus.
yeah,
We need 5 minutes.
you need 5 minutes. All right. Well, I will take this opportunity. I didn't take as much time yesterday, but as long as we have some time that I must fill here, Daniel and I were put in touch through a church in Cold Spring with Global Health Ministries here in the Twin Cities, and they do work all around the world in medical outreach. And they are very interested. I should get Pastor Alvarez, he should be listening, but they are very interested in coming into Guatemala. And they are very interested in working with us and working in Guatemala. And so that has been, we've just been in the preliminary steps of talking to them. They have an organization set up. I can't remember. I think they've been going for about 25 years, and they have it pretty structured about what they want. The organizations they'll work with, what they do is they come into the Lutheran churches, they work with the Lutheran churches, and they find someone, they will train people to do medical work through the church, such as someone that would just advise the local people, like on sanitation, on healthcare, on first aid, on those types of things. Plus, they do other things in sending in medical supplies and things like that. But I thought it was an excellent opportunity, and really felt that it was a good possibility. But we will see. That's just something for in the future. So. Daniel, are you ready to report here and take back over?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to turn the chair back over to Daniel.
So we're ready with the names. Thank you, everybody that voted. We have tonight 89 attendance, so we should have 178 votes, and we only have 150. So from the list, the only people that didn't receive any vote was Penny. Okay, everybody else received one or another. So the biggest name that we have 60 and 60 vote was Rene Alvarez and Jacobo Rodriguez. So welcome, both
welcome
brothers.
To the board. Congratulations.
Thank you and congratulations. So I don't know if we have any other business. We're ready for prayer.
The names again, please.
So the names are Rene Alvarez and Jacobo Rodriguez.
Rene is only one E because
I know.
Rene,
sorry.
Rene with double E is French and it's for female. Yeah, it's okay. It's Rene only one E.
Yes, I saw that mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's where we're I have Mariana.
Yeah. So we are gonna conclude with a prayer. So Mariana, you there? Hello, Laredo.
Yes, sir. Wait, I'll translate the prayer right now.
Yes, please.
Padre Celestial, gracias te damos, Dios, por este día.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day.
Gracias por cada uno que tomó su tiempo para estar en este lugar.
Thank you for everybody that took their opportunity to join this meeting.
Bendice a los pastores que van a tener sus servicios en estos momentos.
And bless those pastors that have to leave right now because they're going to head over to their service.
Bendice a mis hermanos que están conectados.
Bless the brothers and sisters that are connected through the online.
Que tu amor y tu gracia esté con nosotros cada día, Señor.
And may your love and your grace continue to be with us every day, sir.
Nos despedimos, Señor, en este día, pero no de tu presencia.
We say goodbye from this opportunity to be here together, but not in front of your presence.
Que tu amor nos lleve y nos lleve a nuestras casas y a nuestros hogares a estar en paz.
May,
Amén.
may your love take us to be at home in peace. Amen.
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 Thank you, everybody, for assistance, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think all of them.
I think that was it.
That's the story.
Hasta la vista. Bye bye.